have some time to think about it. The second question, what do you think, what do you see as a reasonable academia industry cooperation model for Taiwan setting? And niches between niches based on your current success and extensive experiences in industry, government, academia, and research institute. Both on mentality and ways of doing things within Taiwan capacity. That's two questions for Daria. Huge question. Very good. Okay. And the other two, one is to Daria, the other one to who? Who is me? Okay, to Daria. Most of the people who establish startup are PhDs and doctors. What would suggest the people who has master or bachelor degree to have? For example, the perspective of experience, personality, knowledge, and skill. How to build trust between academia, industry, government. That would be the second question of this question set. So, Daria, think about it. Let me read my question. See if I can answer or not. To Dr. Wu, it's interesting to know, find the niche between the niches. Could you share more ideas, suggestions, and experiences which can, I cannot read these words, which can facilitate the niche finding process within the existing niches. Very good. Let me think about it. Microphone, please. Yes. Daria, please.
Done? Yeah. Okay, so first of all, let me say that I'm not qualified to answer any of these questions. Okay, so this is my opinion, but I really don't have qualification to answer. The easiest question was about what is the role, or can somebody with a master's degree or undergraduate degree be an entrepreneur? That's the easiest one to answer. So Bill Gates didn't have any degree. People who started Google didn't have any degree, and so on and so forth. So a degree is, I always tell the students, finish up your degree because it opens more doors if you are not successful. But there are enough people who have done it without that, and everybody has that has a tenacity and ingenuity and also luck can make it. So bottom line, anyone can do it, but do finish your degree. Don't skip school. Okay. For the first question, boy, there were long issues there. So regarding, let me answer with my participation in NRPB and what I learned in Taiwan. So after coming now for 10 years to Taiwan, I feel, or 8 years, I feel quite comfortable saying that this is the perfect place to create revolutions like yours, and also like yours, where you are starting from relatively clean slate. To create a change like this in the US is going to be impossible. You have all the brain power capabilities, but the fact that you are a small country, the fact that you have so many interconnections, you meet one person and then that person went to college with your friend, and your father and your mother is their family member. You meet one person in Taiwan, you met the whole Taiwan nation. This is fantastic. You're an island. This is a fantastic opportunity to actually create a good, come up with creative solutions. So there is a sense here that you are not capable of doing it, but I think that again and again you see that this is a nation that is going to change really this industry. There is an opportunity that is unique. You speak English, which is unfortunately an advantage, but there you go. Many of you have spent time outside Taiwan, so you have a sense of how things are done. But as I said, you are smaller, so you are more agile. And finally, the question regarding what was it? The second.
The ecosystem.
Yeah, the ecosystem.
Between the biotech and biopharma.
Okay. Not qualified to answer the question again. I think, as I said, there is an advantage in Taiwan because you have big pharma coming here. Oftentimes, big pharma came here with the idea that there would be an easier site to do clinical trial because you have TFDA, you have CDE, you know, a lot of the organizations that are like US, but this is Asia. It's easier than Japan, but it's not chaotic as other countries are, no mentioning names. I think there is a sense here that because big pharma is coming to do clinical trial, but or maybe manufacturing, but not really basic research, that there is no place for you to step in. I would say this is fantastic place to step in. Big pharma thinks that they can just do manufacturing and clinical trial here. That means that they lose on the manpower that you have in academia to create this biopharma. So I would say the ecosystem that is existing here, the only things that was missing, maybe still missing, is money. Okay? So money is a big challenge, and if you don't have VC, you won't be able to support that, but I know that there are VC, in fact I already met 2 in the audience. So the only thing that is weak in this ecosystem is investment money. But again, I'm PhD protein chemist, not economics, not MD, don't know much about it, so that's my answer.
If you don't know who is going to answer all those questions, feel free to answer. Thank you. And to me, niches between niches. I'll just give you a very simple examples. I have already shown a slides. The slides tell you targeting drug with broad spectrum. Now I'm going to give you 2 more examples to show niches between niches. For example, fatty liver disease. Now there's no standard treatment for fatty liver disease, both for alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And the potential market is something like $7,700 US. So how should I say? 7,700亿。这是 7,700. No, it's 770 billion US dollars. Yeah, that kind of market. Now there are 33 new chemical entities on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 study. But none of them can tell you. You can keep your shape. It doesn't matter how big your shape, how is your body weight. My drug not only can lower the triglyceride, but also can protect, even you are still keep your triglyceride concentration in the liver, but you still can have a normal liver function. That means this particular drug can treat fatty liver disease without asking you to lose your weight. That's, I think, it's a niche. I think that's a niche. Because lost weight are much more difficult than discovering a new drug. Am I right? Another thing, for example, if so that's one thing. Another thing, for example, is diabetes mellitus. Diabetes, there's no real drug to cure diabetes because all the drugs discovery based on when the patient has a sugar disorder or the insulin receptor sensitivity change or the insulin secretion from the pancreas are abnormal. That's all the symptom after not all this mechanism actually is come from when the patient become disorder. So this is not real the cause for the diabetes mellitus. No wonder until today there's no real drug can cure diabetes mellitus. At the end, every patient needs to inject insulin. So if you can find a drug, you can discover a drug can prevent pancreas islet become inflammation, become many years later, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years later, cause the insulin disorder. Not necessarily the insulin receptor sensitivity change. All those come from pancreas become disorder, then develop into all those possible mechanisms. I don't think that's a real mechanism to cause diabetes mellitus. So that's the niche. How do you think different way? I'll give you another example. For example, a drug causes toxicity, but it's simply because the drug metabolizes into a toxin metabolite. So most of the study trying to get rid of the toxin metabolite as quickly as possible. That's not wrong. That's not right. We should stop the formation of toxin metabolite instead of trying to get rid of them as quickly as possible. It doesn't matter how quickly, it's still too late. So if you ask what's the niche between niche, that is the niche between niche. That's all I can answer. Thank you. No more written question now? Or more? Okay. To Dr. Daria, data sharing and data exchange are important within the long process from bench to business, especially when US FDA has announced its policy to support the data standard CDISC. Any lesson Taiwan can learn at this moment? Pass to Daria, please.
So while I said, it's important to protect IP, if you want to make sure your drug your idea is worthy, we have to recognize that a lot of the information that we have is not IP information. It's information that we gathered from patients' file, information that we gathered from our trial, information that we got from our animal studies, and so on. There is a fantastic opportunity for academia to contribute to this information, especially if we have good quality assurance in the data that is being loaded. And again, here, there is an advantage of doing it in the country through this connections, through blockchain, but also there are other formats that can be used, because somebody's list is somebody else's treasure hunt trophy. There is an opportunity to cut dramatically the cost of drug development and the cost of clinical trial and so on, if the information that others have gathered is searchable. So yes, if we can create databases in which we add the information we collected for us is just leftovers, it could be somebody else's beginning for our shortcut for something that would change patient life. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity. We are working at Stanford and other places in the US to do more sharing. I think that this is activities that academia has to be the pusher of that activity. There is opportunity there.
Thank you. Since time limited, I would like to invite our panelists to give the final address, maybe from Dr. Chen first, and then Dr. Chen go this way. Dr. Chen, please.
Yeah, I think every time I listen to Daria's talk, I start to think how I apply it to Taiwan. And I think the theme of this conference, the cadence between bench and bed or clinical practice, still have a lot of innovations that we need to trust, and we should not really just try to copy or follow best international practice. Because as I said, 8 years ago when I heard Daria said, the drug development paradigm is a failure. Why it takes so much time, so expensive, and I think Daria already proved in their experience, and certainly we should try to inspired by that, and then try to test in Taiwan how we can do it. And then again, I think networking is quite important. You want to find the niche between the niche, different people, like Daria said, multiple opinion, and then certainly a lot of exciting synergy come out. So I think this kind of networking is something in Taiwan we need to foster in many different approaches.
Okay, I think I will follow the line, especially in terms of niche. I think that although most of our experience are in Taiwan, but one thing you have to remember is that the market is not in Taiwan. okay, most likely the product you are going to make or the service you are going to offer, the market is in US or even worldwide, it's a major market. So don't let your experience in Taiwan dictate your thinking. That's the one thing I really need to address, that you need to think broadly. So when you are talking to the people, make sure you also talk to the people that from the target market, like from the United States or Japan or China, anywhere. And you probably also need to have certain understanding of the medical system, especially the payer, how the payer is thinking. And payer thinking is changing quite dramatically in the past couple of years, and this should go on for the next few years at least. Because when your hero products or your service available, it must be still a distance years from now. So that's something you have to think. By the time you have your product, would the payer pay for it? Okay, so there's another layer of the understanding you have to. But as a young entrepreneur, you most likely don't have the full set of the knowledge. So it's very important for you to join this type of the program so you can draw everyone's experience. For me to make the final comment is that it would be great if the spot in Stanford University, those advisor and consultant can also provide their advice to our local SPAC members. That would be wonderful, because then they will have better understanding of the real market needs, and that's where you find the niche.
Didn't I speak enough? I guess.
Just for the morning.
Yeah. I think I spoke enough. Okay, so regarding Spark Advisors, we are already doing it. Remember, they are volunteers, but actually SIUC invited already 2 or 3 of our advisors to come to sessions, and they are, and your Sparky are also invited to come to us for training. And tomorrow I'm spending the day training, so yes. I think the only comment that is kind of general is, I think Dr. Wu said the most important thing that need to be said every time you start to think about doing something new is, what is your motivation? So what is the motivation of Taiwan is clear. You decide to have a worthy biotech industry. What is the motivation of the university? I have to say is not clear. And most importantly, what is the motivation of the individuals? Is it for money? Is it because you want to address an unmet clinical need? Is it because you want to be famous? All motivations are fine, but defining them is making 90% of the road to actually achieving it. I think that we are all confused about why we're doing things, and if we spend time to figure out the motivation our own, and then the people around us, then we can be more effective. So define your motivation reason.
Okay, as a businessman, I would like to strongly suggest that in comparison against the academic community and the business organization, such a flat hierarchy. They don't have a higher big hierarchy level. That is a flat. And if you have a good idea, and that a startup, a business organization like a startup can easily let you to share with your colleagues, and also that, as mentioned, so that no doubt that to do the business, that we need unity, but the unity is not uniformity, but it's respect diversity. This flat organization will give you the room to behave. Second, so as Daria mentioned about that, she celebrated so that it's a failure case. I think that the businessman has a more practical mindset, because if you can make something and that failure is not a fatal, and success is not ever, and change is time endeavor. I would like to say that I strongly urge that all the academia people that just forego your stability and come to this challenge community. Thank you.
I have only one point to emphasize is that Taiwan needs to promote more open innovation for biopharmaceuticals. Means the academic and the industry need to talk each other more often, and to bridge the gap between the topic selection, the IP strategy, the product development methodology, and the strategies. That's extremely important to make Taiwan become a successful country in biopharmaceutical. And we also would like to become, TRPM would like to become, the solution providers, like we propose the IP seat. So we urge that we work together, the people here and all stakeholders together.
Thank you. I believe you all learned a lot like me this morning, not only from Daria's speech, but also from our panelists. What's in my mind right now to want to share with you is the words I gave to my colleagues when I was in Department of Health. We all need we all need vision. That's Daria just mentioned the purpose and motivation. That's come from our vision. Not only vision, we also need passion. If you don't have passion, no, you will not move on. You only have passion, it's not enough. You need action. Once you have action, then you need evaluation. Once you get good result from your evaluation, you can have a vacation. So 5 ION.
Vacation or vocation?
Yeah. Vocation. You see, you notice I don't have any vacations. Not vacancy. So vision. And the last sentence I would like to share with you is doing things locally, but think global. Because our market, like Dr. Chen mentioned, market is not just in Taiwan, it's in the whole wide world. So think globally always. Thank you very much. Let me conclude this morning's session. Thank you for your attention until so late. Thank you.
Thank you for all the questions from the participants and also all the feedbacks from our panelists. Thank you for your participation. And this concludes our event for this morning. Thanks again.